Namaste, Soul Family. This video is about um, lessons and gains. Okay, putting on some Reiki music. This video is about lessons and gains, lessons and rewards. Saturn and Jupiter, Capricorn and Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, don't mind, them particular frequencies, zodiacal frequencies. Okay, Capricorn, Saturn, and Jupiter. So I'm gonna go through, I haven't yet timestamped the other videos. I think I should have, done that whilst recording. That would have made the whole process a whole lot smoother. Okay. I'm gonna begin with Taurus. So Taurus, for a lot of you Tauruses, you will find that your lessons, um, surrounds the use of justice, the use and abuse of justice. And you're the bull. You tend to be very, for some people, overly confident. um, you tend to sometimes force or fight your way into place or positions of authority, and a lot of times this is so that you can um, be a bully. Okay, I'm not even gonna say to be a boss. Okay, you get a rise out of telling people what to do, even if you're not the boss. Um, you need to learn not to abuse any level or position or place of authority that you're placed in. Learning that valuable life lesson, Sila, is very important to your Jupiter, right? And because a lot of you guys, you represent prestige, right? And a lot of you are, found in prestigious, uh, you know, authoritative positions, you know. Learning to have them positions and not abusing them is very important to you gaining in life. Your Jupiter is in you being helpful. Okay, so even if, let's say for example, you are the sole breadwinner of your family. Even if that is the case, do not play your partner for a fool because they are seemingly financially under you. Okay? A lot of you Tauruses, you're stuck. You're not seeing that Sila, that great expansion, that noble, prestigious expansion that your frequency embodies and represents. And that is because of your Saturn placement. And your Saturn placement is your life lesson. Having Saturn or the 10th house in Libra is simply saying your life lesson surrounds you using and or abusing power, authority, right? Which you are. You are, a lot of times in, seats and levels of authority. Um, where you are upon your Saturn return depends primarily on, you know, whether or not you graduated, okay, or you are a, big boy or a big girl who's yet to grow up. Your Jupiter is about helping and being supportive. So that would also, go for, Pisces rising, Cancer, Sun, Gemini, Moon, yeah, and support there. But more so you, okay, that's that Hermit frequency, that Virgo frequency, okay? Now, the only way for you to get that expansion is to not abuse your power and, to be helpful. Uh, in turn, you will receive that which you exude, okay, will eventually come back at you. And so your Jupiter may come to you in the form of help from someone who you help. And that's the connection there for you, Taurus, between your Saturn and your Jupiter. Don't abuse your power. Also, for some of you, learning to be a good spouse, okay, and being helpful. With that being said, your Jupiter is set. If you have learned not to abuse power and to be humble as a Taurus and, to be helpful, then you know that, your Jupiter is set. Moving on to Virgo. Okay, so Virgo, some of your life lessons, includes you detaching. You are one that is somewhat sentimental. Uh, you are not too fond of traveling. You're a homebody. You're the hermit. You like your own little safe zone and you like to stay there, even if it is crappy. It is yours. And you are called to detach from vanity and physical things, earthly things. You're an earth sign, and that is rather difficult for you. But once you learn to detach, you will receive your Jupiter. Your Jupiter, this could come in the form of a promotion or a successful business venture. Okay? Once you learn also to, detach from your family, okay? Detach from the comfort of your family, okay? You will begin to receive support, and this support, this Jupiter, could come from said family, okay? And it's so funny because it's as though the gains are where we have learned our lessons. So let's say, for example, I'm going to use Virgo as a prime example. Detaching from codependency. But eventually, the same codependency is what's going to be your Jupiter. Okay? And it seems like a cruel fate, but it's not, right? It is, like I said in one of them readings, okay? Truth is stranger than fiction. It is really being balanced and fluid, being able to go with the flow. And Aquarius, they are a lot like you, but they are different. Though studious and very, austere, like Capricorn as well, Aquarians, they are different in the sense in which they are very balanced and they know how to attach, but they also know how to detach. Okay? And your life lesson is learning to flow like an Aquarian. And Aquarians, they're not attached to anything or anyone. Okay? They are free spirits, free spirited beings, you know. And, once you learn to be like an Aquarian, then you get that stoicism that you love. That's that opposite frequency of yours, Pisces frequency. Aquarius is the water bearer. It ushers in that Piscean frequency. Once you learn to go with the flow and to you get used to the raging sea, because a rough sea makes a good sailor, an excellent sailor. Then you get that stability and that comfort. It's all about though we've got the comfort and um, a very relaxing life or a life of ease, we still know how to survive if we're thrown into chaos. We still know how it is to um, be tough, okay? But we must learn that, and then we can relax. For some of you, Virgos, some of your life lesson still makes around learning um, knowledge, and this is a knowledge that is gonna aid you because you are the self-made entrepreneur. This knowledge is to aid you in creating your own wealth. Okay, so once you learn, you've experienced cycles upon cycles, and you've learned how to be many people. That's also a trait of Pisces, because Pisces has already traversed all the other 11 signs that preceded it. Right? Once you learn that, it's like it's red. It's time. It's time for the stability. Yeah, once you tap into that Pisces frequency, then it's as though you now learn how to. It's really you learning how to shift between being a Virgo and a Pisces, learning to be everyone, right? It's kind of like what it is, okay? And once you learn to go with the flow, then this great wealth comes, this success. entrepreneurial success will come your way. All right. So for you, it's like a very versatile um, business. Okay, this is, you're thoughtful, and so usually you try to be, um, supportive of everyone. You do not discriminate. Okay, and so that's why you gotta learn to, shift between being a Pisces and a Virgo. Okay, moving on to Capricorn. Okay, so your life lessons, some of your life lessons may surround communicating. All right, for you, yeah, because your Jupiter is tied up in your job, and your job, I don't know what it is. I feel like most of you um always, tend to do something that you're passionate about, and you always try to capitalize on that. Um, for you Capricorn, you're gifted. You tend to have a lot of gifts, right? And one of this is communicating. This could be, via music, or the poetry, or anything that is verbal. This could be motivational speeches. Right? Your life, that's a part of your life purpose, to be a speaker, right? To speak about things, to, bring about a form of change. A lot of time, the area that you dabble in, you know, it's justice centric. So whether this is law enforcement, or this is you being an activist, or this could be you being um, a musician who's very vocal about, justice. Um, you're being called to, be careful of the way in which you communicate, right? First, some of you also, you do know how to communicate, but you may, be shy, because that's also a prime characteristic of Capricorns. You are shy. And, for most of you, your life lesson involves you being vocal and using your voice and speaking your truth, and speaking the truth of others, standing, standing up for others, because you do value justice. I don't know what problem, other people have with you, but you do value justice. That's an aspect of you. And that is why it is so important for you to learn to speak. So your Jupiter is, being bold and confident, is in, your job. And if your job is, it involves you, you know, standing up for the underdogs, speaking out and being vocal, seeking out justice, then you gotta learn to use your voice, because that's where your Jupiter is at. Your Jupiter is in you using your voice, okay, to speak and to preach justice or to bring about justice, okay? And in doing so, you will receive prestige. That it too is a form of your Jupiter Capricorn. Prestige, that Taurus frequency, right? And this is because when you learn your life lesson, which is to speak and know how to speak for justice sake, you are automatically seen as noble and prestigious and one of high morals, ethics, and value. Okay, and that's where you get your strong influence from as a Capricorn. Because even if people want to hate you, they gotta love you because you speak truth. And therefore, you need to speak more often. You speak, but you need to speak more often. You need to let your thoughts be heard because your thoughts are very important to the collective. That's what I'm getting from spirit. So learn to speak. Okay, your Jupiter is in your vocals, in how you reach out to people, using your authority and your voice. You need to, do that if you're not yet doing that. Of course, justice can come in many different shapes and forms. All right. For you, Capricorn, your Jupiter could be coming. Yeah, like I said, for some of you, this could be from a grandfather. For some of you, this could be from your job. That's where your Jupiter comes from. If it's not a grandparent, it is a job. Let me touch back on Virgo. Your Jupiter is in, your company that you are building or you're about to build or that you have built. Okay? For Virgos, you're supposed to build your company. We all have different. You see, this is why it's so important to have your natal judgment because a lot of people, are suffering because they don't know who they are, what they're supposed to do. And Virgos, you're struggling. You know why you're struggling? Because other than, for some of you, in which it's not yet time because there's divine timing to work with. It's not yet time for you to receive your gains. It is there. You've already put out the work. You know it's time. You're watching the clock for those who know. But for those who don't know, okay, your Jupiter is tied in building your own company, being your own CEO, your own boss. And if not that, it's from your family. And if they're toxic, I'm sorry for you. Okay? This could also be from a um, father. So Virgo, your Jupiter could come from your father, okay, or your companies. Either or either, okay? It ain't gonna come from a spouse, I'm telling you. Because I always hear, Virgo saying, oh, damn, they don't have luck with men because, men, they always want to use them. But, it's the frequency that you carry. You got that very nurturing frequency. And, you're just not gonna attract someone who's gonna really, support you, unless it's your family. So, outside of that, you gotta generate your own wealth, which is to create your own business, your own company. Okay? And Taurus again, this is, solely from um this could be handouts. This is people, supporting you. No, sorry. This is, from you helping people. Your Jupiter comes from you helping people. All right, Virgo from father, family, specifically father, If not, this is your own company. Capricorn, this could be from a grandparent. If not, this is from your job. Okay? Moving on to Aries, your life lesson. Okay? You need to learn to be helpful. Alright, so you got a similar lesson there, like Taurus. Because I'm a kind of, you know, phrase that to me, not abusing your power. Because a lot of times when people are reluctant to help other people, it's because they look down on them and they think that they are less than they are. Or they think that they have nothing to offer in return. And that's what I've realized with a lot of people with Sun in Aries. They don't help you if you're poor, or if they think that, you have nothing to offer in return. And that is why, your life lesson is learning to help and learning to be thoughtful. That Virgo frequency, you need to learn that. All right. For some of you, your life lesson is tied up, in a child, Aries. For some of you, this could be a mistress of yours, right? If it's not a child, it's a mistress, either or either. And this could be a celebrity, whether it's a celebrity mistress or a celebrity child. This is definitely someone, uh, of African descent, most likely. So if you got a mistress or a child who's of African descent, then this your Jupiter is tied in them. So if you didn't help this child or this mistress or this lover, you know that your Jupiter, is most likely fucked, right? So definitely for you, this is a child or someone younger than you, a younger Virgo, okay? Your Jupiter is seriously tied into that person, right? I noticed a lot of Aries parents, they tend to abuse their power, and and rightly so. Why spirit, arrange the charts like this, and the placements and aspects like that. Because even if you got, your 10th house or Saturn in another frequency, the mere fact that you're an Aries sun, you still pull on that would have been 10th house frequency in Virgo. That's how it goes. And so there's a lot to study where these aspects are concerned, because not everyone has their houses in order. All right. Some people don't have some of these frequencies zodiacs uh, in any of the aspects, or I should say, some people don't have, some of the, these celestial bodies or aspects in any of, these frequency signs. But that's how it goes. Because, Aries, you guys always want to make it known that you're the boss. You're the boss. And if you are, a manager or a supervisor of, a company, and you tend to be selfish, especially towards your black employees. Let me tell you something, your Jupiter is tied in them. You may never know how, but trust me, it is. Alright? Moving on to Leo, your life lessons. Some of your life lessons is, learning, not to, be codependent. Not to, be codependent on what? Praise, people's adoration, family support, um, your father. Some of you, could be an unhealthy connection or bond, between you and a family member, whether father or mother or siblings. Your life lesson surrounds you, not being attached. And, it could also surround addictions, okay? Not being, not giving into addictions. Some of you, your life lesson surrounds not stealing, not being greedy, all right? Your Jupiter Leo's tied in helping. No, I'm sorry, in being generous. Okay, that's where your Jupiter is tied. It's tied in, also being wise. Okay, for some of you, this could be also travel. All right, so some of you, you may be, attached to your family or a particular parent, okay, or children, and your life lesson surrounds you detaching from those unhealthy connections because you have to move, we all have to move. It's all about, that balance Aquarius flow. Okay, going with the flow, detaching and attaching when necessary. Okay, and you're not going to gain your Jupiter until you either start to travel, or for some of you, when you start to, increase in knowledge. For some of you, this could be studying. For some of you, this is being generous. So don't be mean. All right. So once you start being generous, you know, the same frequency is gonna be reciprocated towards you. So you're gonna get a lot of support and generosity, right? Once you learn to detach, once you learn to not use people, because that too is a part of your life lesson, then you are going to, receive um, an expansion, beautiful expansion, okay? And this could be to travel, to study, okay? Or this could just be um, a large, generous support, okay? Moving on to Sagittarius, some of your life lessons surround um, your family. And to be more specific, this could be a father figure or a grandparent, okay? Yeah. For some of you Capricorns, I'm gonna touch back on Capricorn. Some of you could receive, your Jupiter from a father figure as well, okay? A family member. And the same for Virgo. Going back, fast forward back to Sagittarius. Yeah, some of your life lessons surround your family. To be more specific, this could be a father or grandfather. Some of you, for some of you, this is you, learning not to abuse your beauty. Okay. Some of you can be cruel, especially to people's flaws. And part of your life lesson is learning not being um, too rigid and too cocky. Um, or a show off. I'm hearing spirit says. Uh, see. So moving, some of you, your life lesson, you two Sagittarius, Aries, and Taurus. A part of your life lesson too is, being more thoughtful. You think a lot. You have a lot of thoughts, okay? But you need to think more. Uh, you need to think in a more balanced way. A lot of you are attached to your families, right? And you need to learn to detach. You need to learn to detach. For some of you, your Jupiter's tied in focusing on yourself. I feel like, for a lot of you Sagittarius, is you are the breadwinner of your family. And, you're attached to your family and your family is attached to you. And I kind of blame you guys for that because I feel most of you have created that unhealthy attachment, right? Because people love their families, right? And you have that frequency of generosity whenever you want to be. And you can be very generous and even frivolous with that Leo rising. And because of that, yeah, you love your family, but it's just not good to enable people. And so you give your family so much. And you create that safe net around them. And that sheltered environment where in which they feel as though they cannot live or survive without you. That wears you down. That's not healing. And the only way you can receive your healing or your Jupiter, because for a lot of you, what you really need, is, you need that same generosity reciprocated. But you're not getting that. The only way you're going to get that generosity reciprocated and get that Jupiter that you want, okay, is by focusing on self. For some of you, your life lesson surrounds your possessions, okay? Learning to speak again, all right? Your possessions, because, uh, you are so attached to your possessions. I bet a lot of you would die if your houses should burn down with everything in it. I think a lot of you would just collapse. Or if you were to lose all your wealth, because you think about your possessions, okay? You think about them. The hell is this? You're so vain. Without Leo rising. Like is this? But you need to detach from them possessions, okay? Focus on yourself, okay? And you should, for some of you, travel more. Your Jupiter could be tied in traveling. Detach from your homes, your families, and travel more. For some of you, for some of you, yeah, it may sound fucked up, but that's what's there. Focusing on yourself. For some of you too, your life, your Jupiter could come from your spouse. Okay, your spouse could be very generous towards you, or will be very generous. Okay, yeah. Moving on to Cancer, some of your life lessons are tied in. Um, you learning knowledge. For some of you, this is also traveling. So you guys, you can Cancer Sun, Pisces rising. Y'all hate traveling. Okay, there are lots of mosquitoes and they're like giving me a warm time. Yeah, so a lot of you, your life lesson surrounds also being generous. Okay, being given. For some of you also, this is you learning to detach from giving too much. And for some of you, your life lessons are tied back to your Jupiter. Notice this, right? So a lot of you are fortunate in, receiving support. A lot of you, your Jupiter could come from, a job that is very taboo, or, in the sex industry. You got that, ideal beauty. Cancer, Sun, Pisces rising, right? But your life lesson also is there, right? So your life lesson, you have to learn not to give too much of yourself. Okay, you have to learn not to expose too much. Some of you also, your life lesson, is, in traveling and your perspective. Okay, so some of you may want to shift their perspective on things. Okay, and this perspective is going to trigger a transformation which will usher in and pull in that Jupiter. I'm seeing some of you, your Jupiter is tied in, being a mistress. Okay, this could also be sex. Okay, sex. Okay, okay. For you, Cancer, Sun, Pisces rising, there's this unique connection between your Saturn and your Jupiter. So a part of your life lesson is learning to budget, right? Um, Knowing how to use your blessings, right? Because you guys are blessed. You're fortunate to receive a lot of support. But a part of your life lesson there is learning to learning how to use that support and how to budget that support and not being frivolous. So a part of your life lesson is not being frivolous, not being too giving. Okay? Learning to save. So your Jupiter is, could also be in saving. And I'm gonna touch on Taurus. You know, them too. A part of your Jupiter is, in saving. Moving on to Scorpio. Some of your life lessons surround, being selfish, self-centered. All right, being too emotional. I noticed that with a lot of Scorpios, you tend to let your emotions get the best of you. A lot of you tend to use your wealth to be very spiteful. Okay, and you see sometimes, develop habits, bad habits, when you get in your mood and your feelings. But you need to learn your life lessons, surrounds, management of self. Okay, and the way in which you use your mind, the thoughts that you have. If some of you have wicked thoughts as hell for no fucking reason, just because You a Scorpio sun and you've got Cancer in the first house. All it says. And so your Jupiter is tied in being peaceful and stoic and calm and not a bitch. Okay? An emotional bitch. So your Jupiter is tied in, being peaceful. That's all. That's all you gotta do. Be peaceful. For some of you, yeah, just be peaceful. Once you stop being so selfish, you will get the love too that you desire. There's a lot of you wounded people and you heal so slowly. Because I mean, even though Pisces, comes after you, Pisces move on way quicker than you. So a lot of you, just stop being so selfish and self-centered. People don't have a problem with you talking, Scorpio. They just have a problem with what you say. And you have a lot. You think you have a very cruel way of thinking. Let me just say that. And sometimes it's not other people, it's you. That's why it's important to get your natal charts analyzed. So you will see peace, right? Once you stop being so selfish. You will you People won't have a problem with what you say. It's just what you're saying. Okay, it's not you saying is the problem, right? These mosquitoes are so fucking annoying. They bite everywhere. Um, for some of you Scorpios, this is you learning to speak up. Because of course, the lessons can come from either end of, you know, the spectrum of these energies. Some of you need to learn to, speak up, right? So people, they're using you because you seem, reputable, like you got old money, like you got cash, you look rich. That's your public persona. And that's how you come off to people with that, regal Leo rising. They think you are wealthy, even if you're not. And so you need to learn to speak up and stand up for yourself. That's the only way you're gonna get that peace and relaxation that you need because you guys, tend to have wealth and support. That's your frequency, right? You just want peace, right? Because people constantly want to leech off of you, including family. All right. So you guys need to stand up for yourselves, okay? And your Jupiter is gonna come to you in the form of you standing up for yourself and speaking your truth, speaking your mind. All right. As long as it's not selfishly. All right. Stand up for yourself. And your Jupiter. You will get your Jupiter. I feel like maybe people too have been, giving you less than what you deserve. Speak up and stand up for yourself, okay? And you will get what you want. You will get that, life of ease that's promised to you, okay? That's your Jupiter, a life of ease, all right? That's it. So speak up and you will get that life of ease, all right? Whatever it is that you want. Just, speak up and defend and protect yourself. Not saying to fight anybody, just, speak up and stand up for yourself. Moving on to Pisces, some of your life lessons, include um, not being so forceful where your beliefs are concerned. All right. Pisces Sun, Aquarius Moon, Scorpio Rising. Some of you, you're very regal, with that Scorpio, Aquarius, Pisces frequency. Some of you, your life lessons, surrounds, it includes black people. Let me just be honest. Yeah. Some of your life lessons, surrounds, experiences with black people. Some of you, this is being forceful with your beliefs. All right. So you're very forceful where justice is concerned, or where your beliefs, you know, on justice is concerned. Yeah, you value fairness. You believe in justice. But your Jupiter is tied, some of you, before I go there, some of you, you like the daytime. Your Jupiter, whether it's a day job you like, um, your Jupiter is tied in quite the opposite. You're doing something at nighttime or something that's esoteric, right? This could also be a Jupiter coming from family. So this could just simply means that you need to um, get rid of the ego. You have a lot of ego and pride. So your life lesson surrounds pride, and so you need to stop being so proud. Once you learn not to be proud, then you're gonna, you receive your Jupiter. And this could be your dreams coming to reality, your dreams being made manifested. Once you stop being so petty, once you stop being so combative, once you being so stop being so argumentative and childish for some of you, then your Jupiter is going to come, right? This could be, in the form of a house or a dream come true. Okay, a dream come to reality, come to reality. Some of you, this could be your mother. Your Jupiter is tied in to your mother. Okay, so this could be, yeah. So your Jupiter is going to come from your family. And to be specific, this could be a mother figure. Okay, yeah, that's where your Jupiter is coming from. So um, once you learn to stop, so Pisces Sun, Aquarius Moon, Scorpio Rising. Once you stop being um so combative, so dramatic, and so self-centered, then this Jupiter is gonna come towards you. All right, and this is definitely coming from your mother. All right, for some of you, this could be a dream marriage. okay, that this Jupiter is going to come from. Wants to also, for some of you, once you stop being so frivolous, then you are going to receive your Jupiter. All right. So a part of your life lesson, for you Pisces, is learning to not be so frivolous. All right. Once you learn to stop being frivolous, quite easy peasy. See, I'm helping you guys so much with the 544. Alright, I'm helping you guys so much. Once you learn to stop being so self-centered, selfish, then you are going to get support. And you know, this could be support from the universe of a dream come to reality, manifested into the physical, as well as could come from a mother, or you know, yeah, your mother. That's what I'm getting. Moving on to Gemini. Alright, some of your life lessons are tied in you not being hateful or spiteful. Alright, so even if people say things to you to hurt you, stop being so sensitive. Because the more you allow yourself to be sensitive, it's the longer your life lesson get drawn out. Okay, and you don't want your Saturn return. You don't want to experience your Saturn return not having learned the lessons you are sent here to learn. Right? And for you, Gemini Sun, it's about you not being so sensitive, so jealous. Stop being so jealous, okay? So covetous. Alright? Also frivolous. Alright? Stop being such a hoe. Alright? That too. Alright? Your life lesson surrounds that as well. So if people hurt you, right, you upset. Just stop being upset. Once you don't allow it to bother you, you're gonna get justice. You will see justice. Right? Just stop getting so upset. If someone, you know, try to hurt you or tell a lie on you, don't use your money and try to hurt that person. Like I said, just leave it alone. Leave it to spirit, okay? And you know, you are going to see justice. For some of you, your life lesson surrounds, you know, you experiencing, you know, grief. So this could be a death in your family. This could be the death of a parent, a parent you were very close to, a father or a mother, right? But you know, once you experience, you know, this life lesson of grief and loss, you are going to see justice, all right? So don't be forceful. Don't try to manipulate the justice system or a justice situation here. Also, for some of you, you are Jupiter. Let me tell you straight. That's why you know you should not be a hoe. Your Jupiter is tied in marriage. All right. Whether you like the institution of marriages or no, Gemini, that's where your Jupiter is tied to your spouse or a business contract. But I'm more getting a spouse. Okay. And therefore your life lesson surrounds you not being promiscuous, not being frivolous, alright, not being spiteful. So even if your spouse went out and, you know, or your fiance went out and cheated on you, don't try to spite them. Don't try to, you know, return, you know, uh, don't try to be revengeful. Okay? Don't try to return revenge because if you do, you're not gonna get that nine of swords. Okay, no, you're gonna get the nine of swords, but it's not gonna be to your like, you know, your favor. But once you know you humble yourself, Gemini, you know, Gemini Sun, Taurus Moon, Aquarius Rising. Well, if you humble yourself, yeah, and not be petty, spiteful, hateful, or jealous, you have a great reward to receive. Right? Your Jupiter is gonna come from your spouse. Alright? Alright. So if you leave that person and you get with someone else again, the same thing going to happen because your life lesson surrounds, what? Sex, that Scorpio frequency. So it could also mean, you being cheated on, right? So you're going to have to experience that life lesson all over again and stop trying to pin that shit on people, you Geminis. Alright, that's your placement. Some of you know you still try to place that bad, or I'm not going to say bad karma. It's just a lesson, but there's great reward, because no pain, no gain. Where there is pain, there is gain, and the greater the pain, the greater the gain. All right, but some of you don't want to experience any pain, but you want gains. You want other people to experience the pain for you and them, and you take the gain for you and them. How selfish! It makes no fucking sense. Stop being so selfish. Stop being so jealous, envious, right? Stop being so cruel, right? And you will receive your Jupiter in the form of justice. All right. Um, some of you want relationships. You know why? You Gemini, Sun, Taurus, Moon, Aquarius rising. You know why you don't have that ideal relationship or that love? I said it in some of my other videos because you find it hard to be happy for other people. You're one of them frequencies that find it really hard to be happy for others. And if you cannot be happy for somebody else, happiness is not gonna come for you. I'm just telling you that. So your life lesson surrounds you. Stop being so bad mind. Let me just be frank. That's the placement and aspect there. Once you stop being so bad mind and jealous and covetous, you are going to get the marriage that you want, the love that you want, because you're Gemini, the lover's frequency. But you can be very devious at times. The devil's advocate, play devil's advocate because you're jealous and you destroy people's connections because you're jealous and you're envious. Well, let me tell you something. As long as you be destroying other people's relationships and connections, you are gonna be miserable. I'm telling you that. Moving on to Libra, Sun, Virgo, Moon, Gemini rising. Some of your life lessons surround um, you healing people, right? So some of you are gifted, to be able to heal people, but you use your gifts for wickedness instead, right? Your Jupiter is tied in being a humanitarian. You know what a humanitarian is, Libra, Sun? It's somebody who helps people. And it's also detaching. Therefore, for you, like, Gemini, Sun, do not do that which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to learn to heal people, not hate on people. Right? It's not about who's the better empress or who really is an empress. It's about what you're called to do. And you're called to what? Heal people. For healing, people, you receive what? Fame and stardom. Right? That's what you receive. And fame and stardom can give you wealth. You receive a lot of friends and associates. You receive a lot of help yourself just by helping and just by healing. For some of you, another set of you, your life lesson surrounds you taking a back seat. Alright? I know you guys tend to love attention, but if you don't learn to take a back seat, right, your Jupiter is not gonna come. Your Jupiter comes from detaching. So you need to learn to what? Relax and sit back. And then you will see your Jupiter. Right? And it will come sudden to, Very sudden. Just learn what you're supposed to learn. And I'm telling you now, you are supposed to learn to what? If you have been one who have been helping people most of your life, it is time for you to detach from them people and relax, right? Learn how it feels to live a life of ease, and you will see your Jupiter. Some of you, this is you learning to help people, and I'm gonna say support. Okay, heal, I should say, and I'm gonna say help them and also support, right? Because I'm gonna say, okay, Pisces pulling on that Virgo frequency, which is to help, right? Some of you are pulling on that frequency because you never actually started to heal or help anybody, to, find yourself at ease or peace, okay, into this, 10,000 Pisces. But um, this is, a lesson that you need to learn nonetheless. Some of you need to just chill. If it is that you are, attention whores, stop being attention whores and sit back and relax, please. And so that you can see your rewards, please. Okay. Moving on to Aquarius Sun, Capricorn Moon, Libra Rising. Some of your life lessons around. Um, yeah, I want to touch on, Libra again. Some of you, your Jupiter is tied in a star, and this could be an Aquarian. Okay, this could be someone younger than you. This could be a spouse or a lover. Okay, and this could be, someone who is a rapper, a DJ, a singer, a performer. All right, this is someone foreign to you. For some of you Librans, um, I'm touching back on Libra. There's something else. Uh, for some of you, your wealth could be tied in um, a younger sibling that you hate. Look at that. This could be a younger sibling of yours, someone who's famous, someone that you hate. This could be someone who's a star, but your Jupiter is tied in that person, Libra. And that's why I said some of you, your life lessons surround you being peaceful. Okay? Maybe, some of you are too combative. Okay? You love to argue. Alright? But your blessings, your Jupiter is tied up in this Aquarian. Okay? For some of you, this is you learning to, be spiritual and be, like I said, more peaceful. Some of you, your Jupiter is also tied in detaching, okay? Maybe you take things too personal, okay? And that can cost you your Jupiter, okay? Moving on to Aquarius Sun, Libra rising, Capricorn moon. Some of your lessons around you being a narcissist. Stop being narcissistic, okay? Stop using your family. Stop being so codependent on your family, in particular your mother. Okay? You are addicted to your mother. You need to detach because I'm seeing where some of you, I said this earlier. I, I didn't even look at this because I'm just like pretty bored and I'm like going through the chart thinking, what aspects can I do? And um I came across these aspects and I'm saying like, cool, that would be awesome because like then people know what the fuck not to do. Is that the easiest way to clean up the human race? Don't you think? Telling people that, yo, you're not gonna get your blessings if you don't learn to, stop being an asshole or a bitch. You know, that's the quickest way to get people to reform and to shaping up and to, clean up their acts. Because truthfully and honestly, your Jupiter, they're tied in your life lessons, okay? And if you don't fucking learn, and there's no what you call corruptible authoritative force, or person around who you can buy out and say, okay, I'm gonna give you this amount of money to say that I completed that lesson, even if you didn't fucking learn. And that's why we have so much chaos in the world because we have people saying that they're doctors and they don't know shit. People saying that they're nurses, they don't know shit. People saying they're police officers and they can't even fucking read. Because what? They pay they pay a superior officer, or they happen to know the superior officer could be a relative or a friend of the family, and they okay, that one passed, even if that one don't know to spell anything other than their name, and some of them probably can't even spell their freaking name. I'm tired of going to police stations in Jamaica and have to be aiding the officers in spelling. It's so, so embarrassing. And I feel embarrassed and it's not even me. I don't know how they live with themselves. And then you say that we have to listen to you. The hell is this? I'm not saying all of them are dunces, but majority. That's the honest truth. Uh, Out of 10 times coming across a police officer who's actually literate is like 2 to 3 out of 10 in Jamaica, if so much. Probably 1 out of 10. Every, one officer out of 10 officers you come across actually have some fucking sense. I don't understand. There's so many people who are uh, literate. Fuck this fucking Mercury in Aries. It's like the worst. People out there who've got your Mercury in Aries, oh, you guys survive. Fuck. Yeah, but people who are literate, there's so many of us out there. Not that I want to be a cop. Mm-mm. All right, I already know my purpose and I'm living in it. But there's so many people out there. All right, so many people out there who are literate, and would want to become a part of the police force, and they got rejected time and time again. And these are people who, if you check it out, most likely are more moral and ethical than a lot of these so-called officers or so-called law officers, you know And you wonder how it is, why they don't reform the police forces, why they don't clean it up and kick the dumb sets to the curb. You understand what I'm saying? That's a major way to clean up the police force because empty barrels, they say, make the most noise. And if you check it out, a lot of these crimes being committed by done said police officers who what? Selling out the law for petty cash. And I'm not saying you should sell out the law for heavy cash either. But why can't, these third world countries, you guys are the reason why they're third world countries. I'm gonna say third house, Gemini frequencies full of pure lie and cheat, right? And that's because you don't respect justice. You fucking don't. Because in first world countries you got millionaires, billionaires being prosecuted, sent to prison. I can't tell if I've ever heard of a politician being sent to prison, and they don't have millions of US dollars. I'm telling you that, right? They don't. These politicians here in these third world countries, they don't. Millions of US, I don't think so, right? And not even them, you know, are being prosecuted. And it's so sad. Can you just imagine if they had millions or billions of US dollars? And I'm not talking like 2 million US or 10 million US. I mean like hundreds of, millions of, you know, US dollars. Like, some of them film directors got and musicians got. And they still get prosecuted and sent to prison. Them stuff don't happen here in third world countries. And that's because the officers too dunce. They don't understand the true value of justice. If they did, they would uphold justice and do their fucking jobs. You don't need to scam the people, officers. You're collecting a salary at the end of the month. But at the same, then again, a lot of them are scamming the government. The governments, and they are actually extortionists, because they don't do the job, but they still collect money. Moving on, let me just move on to Aquarius. Stop being narcissistic. Stop using your emotions, right? You come off very cold and detached, right? And some of you shy too. But you play on your emotions. Some of you use your emotions to get what you want. You use your emotions to attain. Well, some of you, this is your mother that you use, all right, and you abuse, right? For some of you, Aquarius Sun, Libra Rising, Capricorn Moon, you need to learn to express your emotions more. Alright, you guys tend to be very cold and detached. And people, they don't even know if you're fucking human or not. They're not really sure. Because your life lesson surrounds you being emotional and expressing your emotions, right? For some of you, it's not using your emotions so much. Like I said, it can be from either end of the spectrum. Stop being so narcissistic, using your emotions to manipulate people's emotions, projecting on people's emotions. Stop that, right? There's karmic justice for that. A lot of you, you're attached to your mother, you're codependent to your mother, but guess what? Your Jupiter is tied up in your sibling. And this could be a sibling who's overseas. Alright? This could be a sibling who's overseas, who's from a different country, who's a citizen of another country. For some of you, this could be a lover of yours. Okay? This could be someone who is, very famous here. Right? A famous teacher here. Alright? I'm seeing, some of you here, or this could be a sibling of yours who is famous, a famous teacher. Okay? For some of you, I'm seeing, your Jupiter is tied in communicating. All right, and this is communicating the truth. All right, stop being liars and stop disconnecting from, um, authentic feelings. Stop, creating fake feelings, okay? Because the funny thing is with narcissists, a lot of times they think that they are, so smart and they are tricking people. But there always comes a time where in which, the veil is removed, or, and all is seen. And when the frequencies they shift, and you refuse to stop doing that which you, are called to stop doing, whether it's to stop being selfish, stop being a narcissist, stop being so detached, stop being so attached. When the time comes, and if you're still in that frequency, you're gonna get left behind where your Jupiter is concerned. So you're being called, to rather than using your emotions or projecting onto people's emotions, uh, just communicate the truth. Just speak the truth. That's all you're being, asked to do, right? Just speak the truth and nothing but the truth, and that's what's gonna get you your Jupiter. Okay, just speak the truth and only the truth. Okay, yeah, and yeah, some of you, your Jupiter is tied in a lover, and this could be a Sagittarius lover of yours. And this could also be assistance from a Sagittarius. Okay, that's where your Jupiter comes from, or it's coming from. This could be, from a, Sagittarius. For some of you, I'm seeing your Jupiter, it's coming from, you helping a Sagittarius here. And this could be a foreigner. Okay, your Jupiter comes from helping this foreigner, or this Sagittarius, or this sage, or this teacher. So stop being in your feelings, learn to control your feelings, your emotions, and help this person because your Jupiter is tied in helping this person. All right. I'm gonna touch on Taurus again. Don't abuse your power because your Jupiter only comes from you receiving support. So this could be support from a spouse. So if you abuse your spouse, you're fucked. Uh, Aquarius Sun, your Jupiter comes from you, you know, helping someone or guiding someone, being a guide, a spirit guide, getting out of your feelings and your emotions and helping this spirit guide because your Jupiter comes from them. All right, so that's what I got for you guys. Um, your lessons and your gains, Saturn and Jupiter. All right, I know I did um, a lot here. I know that I enlightened a lot of you here. That was enlightening for even me because this wasn't something I went through in detail. It was just like I don't like to plan. I don't like to plan. And so I like to do things impromptu. And this was really interesting, for me. And that too is a part of the reason why I don't like to plan because I want it to be, really exciting for myself. So it's as though me finding out with you guys, what the lessons and gains really are. So this was really fun. I'm gonna think of what other video I should do. If you guys have suggestions, you can, suggest, make these suggestions under the videos. If you're not allowed to make any comments, you can, look me up on Instagram, DM me, and give me suggestions of, things that you would like to know or discover about yourself. Thank you guys for tuning in. Namaste.